Hey, what's up you guys, and welcome to Movie Talk. And it's very late as I'm recording this video. It's December 2nd at 4:34 in the morning because I just finished watching The Irishman. I know what you're gonna say. Hey, ATV, you're very late on this movie. I know. It's just I have not found the time to watch it, and I figured since it's late in the middle of the night and I really wasn't doing much, I was gonna sit my butt down on the couch and I was going to watch this movie from beginning to end. Now this is a very long movie. It's over 3 hours long. 3 hours 20 something minutes to be exact. And I knew I was going to get around to reviewing this movie eventually because I'm such a huge fan of all the people involved in this movie. Robert De Niro's in this movie. Joe Pesci returned for this movie. Al Pacino's in this movie. Harvey Keitel's in this movie. And it's directed by one of my favorite directors of all time, Martin Scorsese. And yeah, I just had to review this movie. I will be doing a video on Martin Scorsese specifically, hopefully in the next week or so. I don't know. I want to do it. The whole thing about Movie Talk is I'm not just talking about movies or talking about my reviewing movies or talking about my favorite, blah, 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 blah. I'm also going to be doing videos on directors, actors, etc. Like I did the one on Joaquin Phoenix about him winning the Oscar. So I'm going to be doing videos kind of like that as well. So expect some videos like that in the future. So wow, this movie's got a lot. It's a lot, and a lot of Scorsese movies do. So this movie follows Frank Sheeran in the 1950s, a truck driver who gets involved with Russell Bufalino and his Pennsylvania crime family. As Sheeran climbs the ranks to become the top hitman, he also goes to work for Jimmy Hoffa, a powerful teamster to organized crime. Now, if y'all know, everybody's heard the name Jimmy Hoffa before. Jimmy Hoffa is a guy who turned up missing. I always make this joke about if there's a huge mess. Like I always say this joke, like if we're trying to find something, I always say you couldn't find Jimmy Hoffa in here, because it's just a little running joke that I always used to say. I still say it here and there, but this movie kind of tilts that story on its head and explains, you know, what happened to Jimmy Hoffa. And this movie's fantastic from beginning to end. I was getting a lot of Goodfellas and Casino vibes. It's a very kind of mafia kind of movie, and that's right up my alley. I love mafia movies, like Scarface, Godfather. But one of the really cool things about this movie, and probably one of the main reasons why it was so expensive to make, was the de-aging. You know, Scorsese had to de-age Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, and Joe Pesci for them as younger. And I don't know how they did it, but they did such an amazing job. Robert De Niro in particular, you know, he's in his late 70s now, and he looked just pretty much exactly the same as he did in the movie Goodfellas, which was way back in 1990. I don't know what effects they used for the de-aging process, but it was brilliant. It was spot on. Now, as you know, I'm a DVD freak, as you can see behind me. I really hope that this movie has a DVD release, but here are my complaints about Netflix. This being a Netflix release. This movie was released in selective theaters on November 1st. Remember, I said selective theaters. That's nowhere near here. They hardly ever play anything like that here. And then it dropped on Netflix, I think, toward the end of November. Right? I think on Thanksgiving, I believe. So the problem I have with Netflix is Netflix does not release everything on DVD, even if it's something very good. Like, they'll release things like Orange is the New Black or Stranger Things. But there are certain stuff that you cannot buy anywhere except for watching on Netflix. For example, this is a Stephen King movie that was on Netflix that I just had to have. It's called Gerald's Game. I went on eBay and looked around, and I had to get a bootleg because they did not sell it on DVD. So that is one of my main complaints about Netflix in general, is because they never have a DVD release for most good films. And I really hope this has a DVD release, if they know what's good for them, honestly. I highly recommend this movie if you're a big fan of Scorsese and the Mafia films. I give this movie a good solid 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10 at the most. It was very enjoyable. I had a good time watching it. It's very long though. Grab yourself a good tall glass, something to drink, big bowl of popcorn, something to eat, because it's a long movie. I started watching it at about, I want to say it was 1 o'clock. It was around 1 o'clock. And it's now 4 a.m. 4:40 actually, almost 5 by the time I got finished with it. But highly recommend it. Well, there you go, guys. If you enjoyed this movie review, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and also follow me on Twitter and Instagram. And if you want some ATV merch, be sure to click the link in the description below. Yeah, I'll see you guys next time on ATV.